And we're live! How you doing, Matt? Oh, just a second, Matt. I accidentally have a little audio problem here.
Mute.
Okay, try it now.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, that's weird.
Check 1, check 2. Check, baby. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry about that, folks.
Hello. Check.
Try it now, Matt.
1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Sorry,
Nothing.
I can't hear you.
Let me check it on my end. Rodecaster Pro.
Hang on a second.
I'll come out and come back in.
What's going on here?
We were talking earlier.
I got it. I'm not sure why I can't hear you.
Oh my.
I know what the problem is. I accidentally unplugged myself.
No, we're... Oh, yeah. John Kowaleski says we can hear him, Robert. So I was audible the whole time.
You were,
okay.
We were,
All right, thumbs up for technical problems, people. Let's go.
Can you tell, just knocking the rust off? This is what you get when you actually unplug your headphones, and I can't hear a thing, so you're fine.
The soundboard's lighting up on my end. The vMix says I'm using the Rodecaster Pro. Like, all signs were good on my end. Who do we got here in the chat? Portal Woodworks. Hello.
We got
Love Audio Production. John Kowaleski. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. As you can tell, I was gonna say like the rest did us good, but in some ways it did me a little bad for me, a little rusty. So I apologize. So yes, this is Verbose Wednesday. This is one heck of a way to start the new year. For those that are just
only uphill from here. It's only it can only go up from here.
Yeah, and well, this is weird. I thought I had all the technicals straightened out, but as you can tell, I still have the wintry thing. But that's okay because we're still technically in the winter.
It's all good.
It's all good. So I'm Robert Lee, the executive video producer of ShaLaLaLa Productions, where we create marketing videos as well as providing live streaming service specifically to the education and the medical field, as well as a specialty in pop culture. And I'm here with
Matt Haas. I'm a YouTube expert. I have many YouTube channels and know a lot of things about tech, and was invited on site at Google for a meeting because Google wanted to hear what I had to say. That's my claim to fame.
Nice.
That's my badge right there. That's the badge they gave me to, give me permissions inside the facility.
Nice.
Trust me, it is. It looks very tiny, but it is my Google badge. In any event. Yeah, 2021, baby. I'm psyched.
I'm telling you, I know we'll get to our topic soon about resolutions and predictions, but a little bit of admin out of the way. I know I should say before the end of the year, I was so hell-bent to get LinkedIn Live, and excited that I do have access. So one of the things that just a mini announcement is just that just developing a new program that's separate from Verbose Wednesday. So we'll still be on. The only slight change is that the last Wednesday of each month, I'll be on air on LinkedIn Live for a different program, which I'll be releasing information before we get close to the new program that debuts at the end of Wednesday. So so that was my announcement. I was excited this year. How about you, Matt? What's going on with you?
I have some announcements at the top of the show. My online course called Be Awesome on YouTube, still there, still humming along, still getting new students. It is free for the first 32 videos. I might change it. I might start charging. So if you haven't jumped in the course, allthingsyoutube.com is where you want to go. Sign up. They're free. And I also launched a podcast. So if you scroll to the bottom of allthingsyoutube.com, you'll see a link to the podcast information. And go ahead and subscribe to the podcast if you listen to podcasts. And I'll be doing an audio show as well. It'll be a mix of brand new content just for the podcast. If I have some stellar hot takes during my live streams, I'll punch out that audio and have it be a separate episode on the podcast. And I'll do interviews occasionally with YouTubers and see what the secret is of their success and pick their brains on how they run their channel. So go to allthingsyoutube.com, get it all there. Technically, if you want to go right to the podcast area, it's podcast.allthingsyoutube.com. So just put a podcast dot in front of this, and then you'll go to the podcast site. But you can get a link. You can get a link to it from here. I'm on 5 podcast services: Apple Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts.
Very nice.
Or Prime. Is it Prime? I think it's Amazon. Amazon Music is what it's called. There you go. Go for it.
I'm guessing after the first episode, you'll know like which of the 5 is your favorite stream to go to.
Well, I'll be watching the analytics and see what people gravitate to. I suspect it will be probably 50-50 Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Having a technical issue getting it into Google Podcasts. I don't know if that'll ever get solved, but whatever.
Technical issues I can definitely relate to, so.
Something about the way SSL forwards, it doesn't like it, and there's a workaround, and I tried to do it, it didn't work, so I put in a ticket with the... See, I'm doing this all on the cheap, Robert, because, you know, I don't want to pay $20 a month to have someone host my podcast, because that's the typical deal. But you can do it all yourself. I own a web server, and I own Amazon S3 that can store the actual assets and push them out real fast globally with all of the instant click type stuff, because it's what do they call it, mirrored all over the globe.
Yeah.
You know, there's like 20 data centers, so wherever you're at, when you want to hit play, it'll play right away, load balanced and all that good stuff. Yeah, but so since I did it sophisticated my own way instead of using a push button tool, I'm running into some tech issues, but hey, that's the price you pay.
Gotcha. As I say, you got to do what you got to do.
What you got to do. We got a great topic today. I'm really anxious.
And which is a perfect segue to get right into it. So why don't we... And we're back! I couldn't resist and say that. But yeah, so let's get right into it, to the resolutions. Matt, let's hear it.
I will be posting more content across all of my YouTube channels and my media empire. Oh my God, I started collecting links for everything I do online, every platform, and it was an exhausting exercise.
So the viewers that aren't familiar, how many links do you have?
You let me answer that, aren't you? I have... Well, let's count them up, shall we?
Okay.
All right. Let me share my screen here. This is going to be fun, folks. Hold on to your hats.
Okay.
All right. So where's the share screen button? Toggle screen sharing. There we go. Boom. Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 discrete services in my online empire.
Holy smokes. That is a lot.
A lot of Patreons, a lot of newsletters, a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of Instagrams.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of websites. Everything has a website. That's number one. I
Okay.
like the websites. Everyone should have a web. If you don't have a website, get a website. You can't only be on these social media platforms, people. In any event. Okay, so my resolution. So it's more content, And I think I'm also going to stop watching live streamers that have more than an 8-second pause before they start delivering content. So if someone starts live streaming and it gets to second 8, I'm going to abandon watching it. If you can't deliver content within the first, because it's like the first 3 seconds go by and there's silence, I start getting mad. And then it's like second 6, I start getting really angry. Second 8, I'm out. If you can't press the live button and start talking within the first 8 seconds, you lost me. That's going to be my New Year's resolution. Hey, Cheryl's here.
Hey, Cheryl. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, I can't see her whole message on my screen. That's
It
weird.
says, good to see you both, and with a smiley face.
Rock on, Cheryl. Glad to see you. Oh, she's over there on the Facebooks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Sorry, I'm a YouTube guy. I'm kind of looking at the YouTube dashboard. So if you have a direct comment to me, write it in all caps and maybe I'll see it all the way over there on Facebook. if I squint, I can see Facebook. Kidding.
Well,
All right,
she has a good sense of humor. But go ahead.
There you go. That's my resolutions. What's your resolutions, Robert?
Well, see, okay. Now, I might be a little bit nitpicky, just because I know, like, John had chimed in earlier, where, as he says, as a nutritionist and fitness coach, resolutions drives him crazy. So I'm not sure if I'd say would drive me crazy. I just say that I'm more like focusing on, maintain the momentum from, I wouldn't even mention the year number, but last year. And that's I think it's something that I mentioned earlier off screen and on. It's just a matter of just try not to get discouraged too easily. So I know, like, one of the things I've been pretty bad about is just getting back on the email marketing horse in terms of just getting the email newsletters up and running. So now that I think I've got a great approach and just some tools that help me. I got to clean up the language, but to be able to maintain a lit fire under my gluteus maximus, it's just a matter of just trying to to keep going. I mean, it's so easy where if you don't see the results right away and stuff, you're just like, oh man, why do I bother? But I mean, it's just a matter that having a good purpose and goals, and just having great resources and support and colleagues that keep motivating me. It's just a matter of just trying to keep going. So it's a matter of just trying to maintain the momentum, just not trying to get too discouraged earlier, which I'll try not to get into the other point. But let's throw it back to you on your next resolution there.
Well, there you go. Well, those were my two. I have two resolutions. A crap ton more content, and what I'm going to do when I'm engaging live streamers. These are impromptu live streams. People go impromptu. I am breaking out my flamethrower. There you go.
Not to sound like a squirrel, but did you see the news last week where, like, I forget if the guy was from Virginia or not, but he busted out a flamethrower just to melt the snow because, like, out in the driveway, he was just like. I love it. I mean, I always talk about, like, if I ever had a flamethrower, I'd do it, but this guy actually had the flamethrower, and snow was puddle, and he was, like, really clearing a pathway in his driveway. I'm like, oh man. Someone even actually, like, I guess it must be like a neighbor was, like, across the street from them and had their camera phone, because, like, it was, like, done vertically, but you just see, like, this flame shooting out.
Oh my gosh.
Like an elephant shooting out water, but this case is flame.
I did not see that. I did not see that. Note to self: if you ever have an opportunity to use a flamethrower in an offensive type fashion, never do it, because all you got to do is land a shot on the backpack and you're up in a mushroom cloud. Because they got all the chemicals on their back.
Well, I mean, as long as you don't
Sandy's
spill it on
here
yourself.
too. Hi, Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
Oh, she's way over there on Facebook too. Why is everybody on Facebook? I can barely see you on Facebook.
Now. But, I mean.
Over there as well. Woo, woo. Pack in the house.
Yeah,
This is resolutions and predictions, folks.
Indeed. So, for those that jumped in earlier and aren't able to catch the replay because we're still live, um, so I know like Matt had talked about about content, and I was talking about not to be discouraged easily. Oh God, I have to eat more fish because I'm blanking out on the second resolution that you mentioned.
Oh, the way I watch live streams was my second resolution.
That's right. For me, it's I think it's just a matter of just more of a commitment, and that because now I have LinkedIn Live, just a matter of just try to use it as a, not to sound like a superhero, but as a force for good. So it's a matter of just trying to like help others that just have a little problem getting their message out or trying to reach out to people. I had a colleague last month, and I don't know if the term is like Facebook jail, but it was the idea that he was locked out of his Facebook ad. He couldn't do any Facebook ads. He was locked out of the account with no explanation, and he was scrambling just to try to get everything settled. And so he was having trouble getting a hold of people, whether it's on Facebook or just finding out what's going on. So I just said, hey, why don't we just go on live? You just tell what your problem is, and someone could be able to reach out. And luckily, I think through his network, either on LinkedIn or even on Facebook, that they were able to hook him up with the right people over there to get him set up. So, so it's just the idea of just being able to be helpful in any way. Now that I have that type of asset to my disposal, so so I don't know. I would guess it's just a matter of just trying to be helpful, just maintain the motivate, not only the motivation, but just to be present and help others.
I like it. You're open to help more people. I dig it. And hey, while we're at it,
Yeah.
I consider myself a resource to the community, and I'm going to continue answering questions that come my way. The great Carnett. There we go.
Well, let's see. I guess I guess Matt beat me to it. I thought I had like one of those. I forget the headpiece that Johnny Carson would have, but I forgot actually my brother has that, not me, because many moons ago when I used to work for a catalog company, and they would have all these great like warehouse sales of just like stuff they're just trying to move the inventory, and that was like
Cool.
in the warehouse, and I mean, I love stuff like that where you just, I don't know if I call it oddball, but just stuff that you normally won't see, but you could probably use it. And my brother and I love the.
I love that stuff. Look at my set. I'm filled with that type of stuff. And that's a great bit because like you give the answer first and then you take a minute and then you read the question and then the question's sort of like the punchline. Yeah, it's pretty clever shtick.
Exactly. And got some more people coming out. Hey, Jason.
Jason, again over there on the Facebooks. What's wrong with YouTube, people? Hi,
Hey.
Jason. Do I have to yell louder since he's in Australia?
I mean, if I had known that, I would get a megaphone for you, but
No, I don't need to get louder. I have a silver slider knob on my soundboard if I want to get louder. So
I thought you were gonna like boost the gain there, so you'd be like, ah!
no, I don't boost the game. I boost the volume. Got the gain finally figured out, I think.
Exactly.
Audio's hard, people. It's the toughest thing I've ever done is audio. All the video stuff, I got it all figured out. It's the audio that's hard.
As to your point, like the beginning, where it was just a matter like I didn't have my headphones on, so luckily that was the.
Yeah. Hashtag not Matt's fault.
Hashtag where's Rob's brain? But oh man.
Well, hey, like I said, it can only
Yes.
get better from here.
Exactly. So
All right, are we getting into predictions?
yeah, I was gonna say like unless there was any other
Nope.
resolution.
That's all I got.
Okay, but let's. Well, actually, it would have been the same graphic for it. So let's go into predictions.
I'm up. Okay. I continue to think that the separation of awesomeness between YouTube and Twitch will occur. So as 2020 rolls on, YouTube will get better and Twitch will get worse. That's my prediction. Twitch is a very brutal platform to have success. They are doing at least two things horribly wrong with no resolution in sight. Things that have been figured out on YouTube's side. YouTube is gaining more popularity much faster than Twitch. So yeah, YouTube is where it's at. Twitch, with its problems with the DMCA takedown notices and not having any clue how to deal with that, and really hurting their streamers, and no discoverability on the platform. Almost zero discoverability on their platform. These are two things that you can't fail at, and they're failing at both, and they've been failing at them, and there's no leadership. There's no leadership over at Twitch. So prediction 1, get on the YouTube bandwagon, because it's only going to go up, and Twitch is going to continue to be very difficult to be successful on Twitch. That's prediction 1.
Okay. So here's something I have. I don't know if I would call a follow-up prediction, but I think, I don't know, hear me out on this one. So one of the things that you mentioned about Twitch is just the problem with the with the music playing in the background. I'm taking a step further on the angle that now that platforms like LinkedIn Live and other folks just hopping on the live stream wagon, I think that there's going to be so many problems just trying to figure out how to handle copyright music that I wouldn't be surprised if there's either some sort of a lax approach in terms of how it's being handled by the streaming community, not the streaming community, but the platforms, as well as the legislation for it, that there'd be laxness of it, so that people can play the music, so that people like LinkedIn, YouTube won't have the problem of having less content as a result of it.
Well, if LinkedIn Live is going to be laxed about it, it's their fault, because the answer pamphlet's out there. Just look at YouTube. It's a public website. You can figure out how YouTube handles the DMCA takedown notice, and you could mirror those processes in your own system. I mean, what was Twitch doing for the last 6, 7, 8 years? YouTube's had this figured out for 10 years. 10 years, a decade. They've had it not figured out, but they have a system in place to make it not awful for their YouTubers. What, Twitch didn't do a thing. They're just like, year 1 through 10 did nothing. So yeah, I don't know, Robert, and it's only as bad as the copyright holders hunting down their intellectual property.
Right.
If LinkedIn kind of flies under the radar as far as copyright holders and groups like the RIAA, the Record Association, or the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, they're the ones that usually sue. And same thing with the movie companies, if you use assets from movies. And I say assets, it could be visual assets or audio assets. A lot of people just think it's audio. No. So yeah, the point is, it's their own fault if they're laxed about it. So,
okay. Yes. So let's your next. Hang on. What's your next prediction?
Oh,
I keep getting the
get
fingers.
2 in a row? Okay.
I'm saying keep going. Come on. Let's hear it.
Oh, all right. I didn't know if we were going to go back and forth with it. Okay. I think Apple is going to do very well as a company. Now, they're already doing very well. Well, with the exception of the last quarter, they did not meet their projections, because as a publicly owned company, you have to declare to the world what you think you're going to earn, and then by God, if you don't earn that much, then the market punishes you. And that happened for the first time almost ever with Apple.
Right.
So the Apple stock went down. Not because they're a horrible company, it's just like an accounting thing. Anyway, now with the M1 Mac, the M1 chips, I think it's a game changer. So I think Apple will continue to perform sales-wise, as be a very healthy company. And on the flip side of that, Microsoft will continue to be more and more irrelevant as time goes on. Microsoft is just stacking up the failures. I think that's going to continue.
Now, for those that aren't familiar with the M1, if you could shed a little light as to like what's make it as a game changer that you're saying.
Well, it's a game changer. Well, first of all, what is it? It's an ARM-based microprocessor. Yeah. There's two kinds. There's the i9, i7, i5 chips. You know, the Intel chips. There's that architecture, which is at the ceiling of performance, and it's a ceiling of performance from a physics point of view. Like the laws of nature can't make it go any faster. And the ARM-based chips are typically things that are in iPads and cell phones. Well, it's an ARM-based chip, but Apple has built it themselves. They've spec'd it out and built it themselves for 11 generations through their iPad and iPhone line.
Okay.
So because they've built it themselves, they've controlled the operating system and the processor and everything else that's in the processor, because it's just not a CPU. It's also graphics and AI, artificial intelligence. It's all on the same chip. So, you know, a lot of times this is really getting in the weeds. Like the motherboard has to talk to this component and talk to the graphics card and talk to the AI engine and talk to this process. You know, it's a very slow traffic routing. It's all on the chip. It doesn't leave the chip. It just stays on the chip. Anyway, because they have the ARM chip and because they've optimized the operating system to work with it.
Yep.
And they've optimized everything in the computer, the whole stack. It's humming. They've got it dialed in.
Okay.
And no one else can touch it. And, you know, to kick someone when they're down, Microsoft had the same idea in 2012. They have
Really?
an ARM-based. Oh yeah, they had the Surface computer that had the ARM chip in it.
Okay.
And it didn't work in 2012, and then it went into obscurity. They revamped it in 2014, and it went into obscurity, and now they're doing it again, and they're trying to do what Apple did, and it's not working because they've got to contract out a third party to make the chip, and they got to contract. They're following the playbook, but there's no way that it can catch up because they're not manufacturing all the components.
Right.
And it's in December 10th, they finally unleashed the operating system. Now they have an operating system that can run on this ARM-based Windows chip, and nothing works on it. It's been so bad. And it costs $200 more than the entry-level Mac. So if you want to pay more for a Mac, you can kind of have the same thing on Microsoft, but it's not well, it's working, but I mean, all of the Adobe apps, they don't have any apps for it. It's
what?
never gonna touch it. So Apple is going to finally take market share away from the computing side of things.
Okay.
Because computing has always been 5% of computers have always been Apple, and 95% have always been Windows based. I think that's going to change, and it's changing starting.
Yeah.
Starting in December 2020, but it's starting now essentially. So I bought myself some Apple stock. I didn't have any for a long time,
but now you do.
I sold it all once Android started eating their lunch with the Android phones.
Yeah.
I thought Android was going to take over and push Apple down.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen. And so now with the M1 chip, I'm thinking, I'm back in, baby.
Okay.
I'm back in on Apple. Now, don't take my advice for stock tips, but I'm just telling you.
That'd be for another show at another time. Or I don't know if we're going to get into that. All right, let me see. I don't know if that's a prediction, but I'm going to see if I can try to melt off the snow. Hang on. This is for you, John, if you're watching.
Yeah, the flames.
There we go. Got rid of the snow there. I couldn't resist, guys.
That was good. That was good.
All right. I guess I should come up
Look
with a
at
prediction.
Robert with his vMix skills.
Well, you know, I mean, last year it was definitely like a learning curve. I mean, before that, we were on StreamYard, and I think before I thought I had got a hang of it. I was trying to do a little bit too much by integrating vMix into StreamYard, which it does work, but then again, there's going to be some challenges when you put when you combining different things. So, but yeah, so I'm just kind of glad to be able to, as the program grows, the skill sets and the experience grow with it. And I know, as John would say, my eyes. Oh, okay. But yeah, so it was I couldn't resist but do that. Plus, I mean, anytime you can bring out the flames, I'm all for. So, predictions. Where do I want to go? So I don't know if I would say predictions. I think it's more of like it hinges on the direction of how companies react. There's a app that's been making the waves called Clubhouse, and here, let me just pull this up just because I had a hard time just finding it. So, as it says, Clubhouse, in short, Clubhouse is an audio-based social media app. The company describes itself as a, quote-unquote, a new type of social product based on voices that allow people everywhere to talk, tell stories, develop ideas, deepens friendship, and meet interesting new people around the world. So essentially, it's just like it's like a group phone call, the way it comes off to me. But I mean, people are just like tripping over themselves just for the fact that, you know, engagements. I don't know. I mean, it has the feel of like a phone call / radio app where people can just interact with just audio than video.
Do you have access to the app?
No, right now the only way you can access it is if people give you like if someone's sending like a join option. So like if I had the app and the only way you could get access to it if I send you the invitation to join on it. And I don't know. I mean, it's just that. I mean, I understand the intention and what it's for, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I think it really depends that if Clubhouse is going to be that stringent on how they dole it out or how people have access to it, it could turn off a lot of people, and it could really open the doors of competition. In which case,
that's where they can send the Clubhouse invite if anyone wants to invite me to Clubhouse. Throw me that invite, people.
Yes, I mean, you know, I mean, it's not. I always understand that it's always good to be able to keep up with the changes, but I don't know. I mean, I think if Clubhouse, if they're that hard pressed to share it with others or what have you, it's going to open up competition. In which case, if they're not too careful, the competition could put out a better product than Clubhouse that they could make the way as at that time at Periscope had kind of crushed Meerkat in that manner. But at the same time, if they're good and they keep up with the competition where, you know, they make it more open, more inclusive, then, you know, it could thrive.
Is it fair to say that they're not open and inclusive now just because they're in public beta? I mean, that's a pretty typical thing. It will be public. It's just part of the process.
Yeah, but then again, that's what LinkedIn had said about LinkedIn Live, where they were still in the beta, but they've been in beta for like at least over a year, and it's like, come on, guys. I mean, you can only, you know, have so much. So it kind of like, you know, if they go the way like they did with LinkedIn Live, you know, it could do more harm than it would do good. So I would think that if they're not proactive in releasing it, I think the prediction would be it opens the doors to competition, and they could have the Periscope version of Clubhouse, where Clubhouse could be the way of Meerkat. But if they're responsive,
let's hope they get on the ball and do it. I mean, it could be a money thing. Could be they might not have the capital to grow out their infrastructure. I mean, who knows? But it'll get there. It's on fire now. I'm sure someone's working hard to open that sucker up.
But I'd be curious for folks that are that hearing this is like, do you think Clubhouse might go the way of Meerkat, or it could really explode? I'd be interested to hear what folks say
Yeah.
on that prediction. But enough about Clubhouse. What's your next prediction?
I think Twitter will continue to decline in user base, and I think some of the other alternate tech sites will rise in popularity. So we'll see. John Kovaleski had a good comment about virtual events and remote working. Everything that has changed in 2020, some of the social distancing type
Yeah.
protocols, I think, are here to stay. I think servers will continue to wear masks long after the pandemic is over. I think the way they deliver pizza, where they leave it on
Yeah.
your door and you don't even talk to them,
Yeah.
that's still going to, like, some of these cleanliness and distancing protocols, I think that's just going to be the norm. Driving to Olive Garden and having them come out and putting your food in your car,
Yep.
that's probably going to stay forever.
Yeah.
Going to the doctor, sitting in your car until you're called to come in, I think that's a permanent protocol. Yeah, I think a lot. And, you know, think about it. When
What's
there
that?
was, in 2018, when the stock market when the housing market fell out,
Right.
you know, when they were overextended on the loan financing, and it blew up the whole market, and they needed the bailout. Out of that, there came Uber, and a lot of those. Corey, hi Corey, all the way over
Hey,
there on
Corey.
I can barely see you on Facebook. You're so far away. I'm monitoring YouTube as the guest. See, Robert has the super control panel. He's got all the messages. But anyway, yeah. So out of 2018 grew all of these, out of the hardship of the 2018 financial mess that we were in, grew awesome companies like Uber and Airbnb, all of that. And I think a similar type of process is going to happen years after we get past this pandemic.
But
Good
yeah.
comment, John.
I mean,
Thumbs up to you, good sir.
Oh, hang on, I had it here somewhere. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that based on what you say, I mean, I could see that some of those protocols will stick. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because, like, I know, like, John and I, we've been trying to work together in terms of doing, like, a remote video production, and it is interesting that even though that there's some learning curves in terms of just the way you go about filming remotely. I mean, the approach and the steps in terms of ensuring good shoot are there. So I think if anything, it'll just open up the doors as to like what works better. For me, it's hard in that I mean, because of the bubble I live in there, I just can't take the chance to go out and shoot like I used to. So I could see that in those instances for folks like me where it makes sense that we'll be able to work remotely and do that it will continue.
You really did a hard pivot. Kudos to you, Robert.
Thanks. Hey, James. Matt, I came over to you.
James knows what's up.
Oh, wait a minute. He says here.
Oh, flash that email again? You got it.
Hey, there you go.
Matthew Hoskeek. Two A's in the last name. HAAS. Yes, I'm on iOS. Correct. iOS.
So, I think.
Got it.
Yeah, he
Two
says.
T's. MATT. HAA. Geek. Double E.
He says gotcha. So he's good. So I mean,
yeah,
I'll admit
thanks,
that the talk about Clubhouse was one with James had a guest on the other week on LinkedIn Live, and they talked about Clubhouse, and so it was interesting just to hear just how much has the interest and the use of it. So So I think it's going to be like a battle between the platforms, like which is better, audio versus video. I think what wins out is just like what's the best way to get your message out there.
Well, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I've always been a fan of the audio file format. You can consume it more easily than video. As much as I love video, I mean, I'm all in on video. I've got how many YouTube channels? I've lost track. Love me the video. However, you can't watch a video while you're driving. You know, it's hard. So anyway, that's why I launched my podcast. I have a podcast now, people.
With a capital P.
Podcast.allthingsyoutube.com. Podcast.allthingsyoutube.com. Go get it. Eat it up.
Sounds like a Wheaties commercial there for a second. Okay, so we talked about Clubhouse, and I mentioned about possible predictions about relaxing on copyright music, and we got into your predictions of
companies inappropriately relaxing on dealing with the copyrighted music. That was your prediction.
Well, no,
no one's going to relax on copyrighted music. The RIAA is not going to relax. So make sure it's clear what your prediction was. Don't use copyrighted music in your works, people.
Right, but what I'm just like saying is that there's going to be, I think that the platforms are going to have a hard time to be able to keep up with either people misunderstanding or just having a lot of their content shut down because of it. That they're going to find another way, if not find a way to relax the regulations, at least come up with a way that of a uniform standard that people can follow to.
Relax the No, that's not going to happen. Relaxing the regulations. Do you know what the RIAA is? Do you know their history? There ain't no relaxing there. It's not going to happen. And I'm telling you, if a social media company like LinkedIn or whoever can't sign up for YouTube and see how YouTube does it and replicate that system in their own, like, it's on them. Like, any company that can't have user-friendly tools to deal with copyright takedowns, it's, first of all, it's the law. You know, you can't. Anyway, it's on them. It's on them. But no one's going to relax. The right holders aren't relaxing, and then, if anything, they're going to get even more diligent about tracking down their intellectual property. I'm telling you, copyright's a bag of hurt. Don't do it. I talk to people all the time. They're like, Matt, how many seconds of copyrighted music can I put in my video to get away with it? I'm like, that's unanswerable.
Wait,
there's no answer to that question. It's all subjective.
They asked you that question, really?
Oh, people. It's just human nature. People want to know the easiest thing that they can do to do workarounds, and they're always trying to look for an advantage.
So Corey says we're currently pulling YouTube videos and muting the video, and we are getting copyright claims. So there you go. So muting is the
if anything, okay, prediction number 5 for me.
All right, let's hear it.
There are going to be even more services to let you use high-quality audio and not get copyright claims or strikes, like Epidemic Sound, like Harris Heller's Stream Beats. There's going to be even more. What's the other one? There's the other service that does video and audio.
Artist.io, Artlist, I think it was.
Yeah. There's probably going to be even more. I mean, and you know what? I love it because people are starting to figure it out. People are. I shouldn't go into this, but people have gotten so sick of getting beat up by these copyright claims that they will hire someone on Fiverr to create a unique, original piece of audio. They will take that audio that they own because they bought it. They bought full rights, worldwide rights to it. They're the full copyright owner. They bought the audio, and they bought the full ownership from Fiverr so that they own it. And then the YouTuber will create their own, are you following me here? They'll create their own record label, and they'll submit it into the system that manages this stuff. And then they'll put 30 seconds of their own original music in the end card of their YouTube videos, so that their record label copyright claims their own YouTube video, but it's really you copywriting your own, because you are the record label and you are the YouTuber. They've figured out how to do all this just so they can get a copyright claim on their own work and then get the money from it, because the record label will get money from YouTube, but you are the record label. So do you see how it's all going full circle? And you can punch it up on Google and become your own record label in 5 clicks. You can get access to these systems and then upload your actually unique audio works, and then you're in the system. I didn't realize it, but that's what Harris did. Yeah. Harris, when you play his music through Spotify, he gets the money through Spotify. Now it's like 1 cent per 1,000 plays or something like that, but he's still. It was enough to buy a house, because he's. Anyway.
So, I mean, what's interesting is that, I don't know if it was like a week or two ago, but Heller was saying like how he's no longer doing the stuff he's been doing on his Alpha channel, the focus on the music endeavors there. So, maybe the
Senpai Records, yeah. He's switching his whole.
Which maybe the amended prediction would be that there's going to be more people that are doing what Harris is doing as the solution for it.
Yes, that's exactly.
So,
I just love it because look, the big picture, the 10,000-foot view of all this is the market finds a way, and you can only beat up YouTubers so many times before they don't try and beat the system. They've joined the system. Like now YouTubers are also their own record label in some cases. And now we're getting in on the game. Like you can't topple the industry. They're joining. They're figuring out how to use the system to their advantage. And it was the same thing with the DVR. Do you remember TiVo when TiVo came out?
Yes.
That was the fast forward through the commercials because people were sick and tired of watching freaking commercials. So the DVR was invented to get around that problem. The market finds a way. Any industry or company that thinks they can fully control someone's behavior is kidding themselves. It might take a few years, but you keep slamming the commercials. Like, what is it? A 30-minute sitcom is now 19 minutes and the rest of it is all commercials. I mean, you can't do that. You just can't keep doing that. And it's the same thing with broadcast radio. Oh my God, it's the same thing. It's how many minutes? There's like 25 minutes of ads in an hour worth of programming. Like, it's not. So people are now they're finding other ways to entertain themselves with podcasts, with YouTube videos, on and on. There's other ones. So, yeah, I owned a TiVo, believe it or not. Yeah, I love TiVo. TiVo was fantastic. And there was even the Replay TV at the same time TiVo launched. Replay TV launched. And the first generation replays, you could get in and pull the MP4s off of and ever since that, they've locked them all down. There's no way. They've got the techiest tech experts, hardware experts, trying to get. There's no way you can get a recorded video off of a TiVo, on any TiVo, first generation to the current one. But that first replay, and they were going on eBay for 10 times market value. Like you could $2,000 for an 8-year-old replay system, because the first generations you could hack them and you could record live TV. You could get the MP4s. Anyway,
all of a sudden, like you light up when you said the word hack.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'm not a hacker, but I I had a replay TV as wow. I'm telling you what, Corey, look in your junk closet. If you've got the first version of a replay TV, I bet you, I don't know if they're still worth anything now because it's been quite a while, but I'm telling you, they were going for prime money on eBay for sure.
I just get this sense that once we go off air, I could see Matt going on eBay. Replay TV. Oh, bid.
Frankly, I think that ship has sailed. But there was a long time. There were years. Mm-hmm. There were years and years and years where those replays were going for buku dollars. And now, well, I mean, now just look at it. Like, is it really worth getting an MP4 from a broadcast television show when you've got things like all the streaming services? You've got Disney Plus, you've got HBO Max, you've got Netflix, you've got CBS All Access. I mean, now it's like, why would you even want it? Like, but back in the day when Netflix wasn't around or was just a little CD service or a DVD service, yeah, replays were coveted because of what they could do. Now, I think we're in a different time. But again, like you can't beat up the market indefinitely, or you're gonna get smacked. And broadcast television got smacked because they were slamming too many commercials on there. It just got awful. The industry found a way around it, and
although I mean, like with YouTube with the pre-roll ads, I can't help but think, but they're kind of going the way what broadcast is doing. I don't know if it's just more like for revenue or what have you.
Ad blocker is the same type of concept. The market finds a way, and YouTube has YouTube Premium. So if you wanted to do it the chivalrous way, the moral way, you can give YouTube $12 and then all the ads go away. But you're right. I installed ad blocker the last week of the year of last year, the year that shall not be named.
How's it working?
And do you know why I did it?
Why you did it?
Because I got tired of going to some of those websites and the fans kick on. Do you ever go to a website and there's so many flipping ads that the fans fire up on your computer because they're overheating because they're pulling down all of the ad. They're talking to the ad servers back and forth. I found like I like to go to some of those where it's like 25 most craziest, I don't know, unexpected moments caught on camera, and you just kind of you go through or like the meme sites where they'll have the people of Walmart, and they'll have the 25 worst people of Walmart, and you just go to these, they're funny websites, but they've got so many freaking ads it just overheats the computer. I'm like, you know what? I'm installing ad blocker. So I installed ad blocker for the first time ever. Not because I was trying to gyp YouTube out of. I'm a YouTube Premium subscriber. Anyway, yeah.
But those fans, man, you can only take so much.
Like I'm not gonna burn out my CPU just to watch a web page with 25 memes on it. Ain't gonna happen.
Wait, did you say burn? Sorry, couldn't resist. That's not getting old anytime too, folks.
Where's the guy with the flamethrower? Target the backpack.
I got him in the sights. On target. But
I was really wound up during this episode. I don't know what. Maybe the break just had all this pent up energy. I don't know.
Yeah, but how do you feel now?
I feel a little bit better.
See?
Yeah. We've been going an hour.
But hang on. My eyes! I can't see. Couldn't help it, folks. But okay. Now that you said what you had to say, are we missing any other big predictions you want to make?
Well, I don't know.
The floor is yours.
Well, like what other area have we not talked about? I guess that's where I'm at now. I think we've covered the
okay.
Streaming. I think all of the services are going to be even more flooded with content. So however hard it is to grab attention now, it's going to be even harder because there's more content.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I don't know if it's stating the obvious, but I think now that with last year, we could pretty much say it's been an explosion with streaming, with a lot of people out there now going live. It's going to be, like you say, a battle of people getting people's attention, and it's already, already start to see it happening, where you're going to see a lot of folks that are going to broadcast, or at least try to meet the demand by providing folks offering courses of how to get in front of the camera, to presentation, to even just like the tech stuff. So I think there's going to be a lot more push of providers providing the service, or at least the information out there for those that want to be better streamers. In which case, I think it's just going to like increase the amount of content out there of people trying to get people's attention, to the people trying to get people's attention that need help getting attention. I don't know if it's the point that you made about the market, but I mean, I'm already starting to see it happening now, and I think it's just going to increase tenfold as the months go on. But not to say it's a good or bad thing. It's just that, I think that it's going to be interesting, because now that I thought that with the vaccine out there, that more people are more inclined to go out, but because of the slow rollout, it's just going to increase the supplier side of people providing the service of for those that want to stream more.
Yeah, and I love your point about increasing your skills. If someone is twice as good at the end of this year as they are now, you're standing still. Like, you need to improve just to stand still, because it'll be more competitive. You've got to double improve. You got to quadruple your improvement just to make gains.
Yeah. Although this might be a topic for another time, but then it invites the conversation of, like, you have people that want to improve and be a lot more polished, but then there's still people out there that promote that being yourself, being authentic, making mistakes okay. I just feel like that the two ideas of being perfect versus being human and showing flaws is going to butt each other as to like how they want to present the content there.
Well,
I see the gears turning.
I don't take a black and white. I don't take a polar opposite approach like that. I think you can be raw and vulnerable and still produce great content. I just, it's not about being polished so much on camera. It's about improving every time you make a piece of content. No matter if you can still be raw and vulnerable,
right?
But if you're doing the same thing all 12 months of this year and you're not improving, whether you're being authentic or not, that's what's going to hurt you. Be authentic, be vulnerable. That's fine.
Yeah.
But just the next time you do it, try and be better than the last time.
Right.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Although I can't help but think that a lot of it drives on the message you put out there and just how well you connect the audience. It really would help the show, like if you're making improvements as you're trying to get your message out there, or either that it's just I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot, depends on the person that's producing the content, like how much they need to recalibrate as to how much they need to improve. But to me, it's just like, as long as you have a message and you have an audience that you want to present to, I think that's what key to be able to help you to go on. Because if you don't have an audience of what you want to say,
yeah, and you said it, know what you want to say.
Yeah,
know what you want. That's a huge piece of it. I mean, that was one little comment that squeaked out from your side, Robert. But that's very important. I mean, turning on the camera and going is one thing, or taking 5 minutes to write a bulleted list and then turning on the camera. Which one's going to produce better content for the end user?
Again, it all goes down to the message and the purpose and goals of being able to do that, which I'm excited for you for your podcast because I think a lot of the content I think it's going to be interesting to see like which one you feel works better in a visual medium versus audio medium. So that's the kind of thing I'm kind of geeking out about as to the type of response you get when you get out there.
Well, interesting that you say that. That
Yes.
you characterize it like that. It's not so much I want to know which is better. It's just I want to catch more audience. Like, am I leaving the audience on the table? Like, am I failing to grab people? I'm thinking maybe if I have podcast, or like, let's say I start getting approached by advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
Having a podcast could put me a notch above someone who just has a YouTube channel. See what I mean? It's like, oh, Matt's show is video and audio. Maybe I'll throw my advertise. You know, I'm not out to see which one wins. Like, frankly, like, if we're getting real, like, YouTube is a visual thing.
Right.
Like, it doesn't work. Like, it's almost laughable. Why are you doing an audio show about a platform that's all video based? So, I am a little crazy for attempting it, but I think there's a market. I think it will work. I've done the planning.
Right.
I've thought through the business side of it. But yeah. So it's not who's going to win. I want to reach the most people, and I'm thinking maybe the podcast will help me reach a few more. Who knows?
Yeah.
And if not, I've got the freaking gear. Like, I spent last year buying stuff.
Right.
You know, I got to put the pedal to the metal now. I got to use this equipment.
Right.
You know, I didn't just throw money at this just for the sake of throwing money at it. You get it.
I mean, to John's point where he says you could do video podcasting, that way you can repurpose the content across the board, and that's what John does. To me, I mean, it's hard not to get into like which is better, you know, video or audio. But to your point, it's just really, I think it's just like which medium works best to reach your audience, and it's almost like it's like a not to sound like a football coach, you know, it's just really like a game time situation as to like, you know, what's the best way to reach the audience. I know, like, I wish I remember what the article I read, but it was the idea like there's going to be, depending like if the audience media consumption habit, if they're more like prone to do like yard work or be outdoors, then yeah, it's going to be hard to like mow the lawn and watch a video. You know, audio would be the works. But at the same time, if it's something where a lot of the points you make is more visual, so that if I did something like this,
I know
they're not going to see it.
There you go.
So yeah. I mean, it just really depends on like what's the best way to reach the audience as to where you're captioned right now. So
Well, I mean, one thing's for certain: the audio podcast isn't going to be talking about which button and which tab you click within the studio to do something. That's not the content that's going to go on the podcast. Podcast is going to be strategy. The podcast is going to be success tips. It's going to be stuff that'll work in a spoken form for sure.
of course, if you use a flamethrower, people are not going to, unless they hear the
And
in the
John,
podcast.
that is in the plan. My content is going to be excerpts from video content from published videos and video content from live videos. I'm going to pull the audio out in little topic formats and use that. And I'm going to do original stuff, audio only, and I'm going to do interviews and interview people with YouTube channels. So I've got a business plan for the podcast, but
or like what we like to say, exclusive content
and
only
you know
on
what?
podcast.
You know what, Robert? To
Yes.
your point again. To your point again about it's like if someone becomes a patron of mine,
Right? Yeah.
how am I supposed to know if they became a patron because they like the podcast or they like the video? In other words, my metrics are going to rise, but who's really to say how much the podcast has influenced it? There's a lot of fuzziness in all of this because I'm in multiple places.
Right.
So
But
it's not going to be. It's not going to be as time goes on. I'm not going to be able to tease it all out the way I think you would like to see it.
But when you can, I think that's the value right there. Like if you're able to measure it, because a lot of people would kill for that kind of knowledge. It's like, okay, which works better? Why is it that way? And if you're able to to boil it down there, I mean, people will just kill for that kind of data. Well, I mean, not literally kill because that's just violent, but you get the
There are
idea.
metrics.
Yeah.
There's number of subscribers. There's the average download, average daily download. You know,
Yeah.
you can pull metrics from it, but it's like, okay, but you know, how do you measure when the dollar bill leaves the wallet? Like that's what's the hard part. Those are the hard measurements. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, once someone finds a way, or like if you find a way, I'm telling you, people are gonna be like, could you share the data with me? How was that going on? You don't have to beat them off with a stick and say, hey, relax, buddy.
Yeah.
But
I'm having fun. Hey, look, you know,
yes,
I'm having fun with this. I'm gonna see how far I can push it, and if it ever stops being fun, I'm gonna stop doing it. So that's my thing. I mean, I'm all in on giving great advice, giving great service.
hang on a second.
It's getting cold in here.
Yeah. Okay, got it. That's never gonna get old, folks. Although if it come the summertime, it might be a little harder, but I'll find a way to make it work. But all right. So we've said what we said on predictions and resolutions. For those that missed it, just to catch the replay, folks, and you can hear what our thoughts are. If you do, please put in the hashtag replay, because I love to find out folks that catch us live versus those that catch us on the replay there. But as for next week, come what may, I'm not exactly sure what we'll talk about, but we'll be here next week. And Matt, where people can find you?
You can find me here.
Nope, there we go. And folks know where to find me because, well, at this point, if you're watching this video, you know where I am. But, you know.
Is postal mail still a thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you bet. I mean, how else, without postal mail, how else am I able to give you one of these?
Fa-bam.
And, oh, wait. Let me see if I still have it here.
Oh, that's my mule sauce.
But, or one of these. So, hang on. I think I still have one of these pins here, so.
This one's getting beat up a little bit, but it's getting beat up from love because I use this coaster. I legit do.
No, it's cool. And yeah, and I think I mentioned it in the description that if folks are interested to get one of these, just hit me up, just send me an email, and just let me know where to send it, and we'll get it out to you.
I'm giving out Awesome Wood Thing stickers to anyone who wants them. Just let me know.
Now, do you still have the holographic version of it?
I do. These are reserved for patrons, $1 more patrons. So $1. You could send me $1 one time on Patreon, and you get a sticker. Then you can cancel Patreon. I won't care.
There, he said it, folks. So
I'm here too. Who isn't in my Facebook group? Come on, people.
come on, party people. Alrighty. So I think that's it for today. You know, like I said, I'm fired off. I mean, this has only been the first show of 2021, or episode 25 overall, which I'm pretty excited. We hit the 25 mark.
Nice.
Do you have any fanfare audio? Because that's the one thing I forgot to load up.
Oh, we can do this.
I like it. So on that note, keep it here next Wednesday for another episode of Roast Wednesday. I've been Rob, and this is... Oh,
Matt.
I got to work on the hand signal, folks. Take it easy, folks. Thanks for watching.